الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن سيدنا ومولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم إن زلزلة الساعة شيء عظيم. Assalamu alaikum dear friends and welcome back to Ramadan with Zidane. Today is the 7th of Ramadan. Hope your Ramadan is going healthy, wealthy and wise, and we are back with another day of Quran daily, and hope your Ramadan is enjoying the blessings and mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have been doing Surah Al-Furqan 2 parts, Surah Al-Nur 2 parts, Surah Al-Mu'minun 1 part, and Surah Al-Hajj 1 part. Now we are back with one of my favorite surahs, and out of all the Madani surahs, my favorite surah, Surah Al-Hajj. And now 15 verses are done. We are going to be back now. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. من كان يظن أن لن ينصره الله في الدنيا والآخرة فليمدد بسبب إلى السماء ثم ليقطع فلينظر هل يذهبن كيده ما يغيظ. Those who thinks Allah will not help him, strangle yourselves on the top of a rope and then you see if help will come. Basically, the meaning is of this metaphor that those who do not believe or those who believe, go to a high place and dangle yourself from there from the means of a rope. The believers will still think, oh, Allah might help me. Allah will bring the help. But those who will not believe, they will not have any help. So they will be taqnatu min rahmatillah. وَكَذَلِكَ أَنزَلْنَاهُ آيَاتٍ بَيِّنَاتٍ وَأَنَّ اللَّهَ يَفْعَلُ مَا يُرِيدُ. And this is how we have sent and bestowed the mercy of the ayat, the clear proofs. إن الذين آمنوا والذين هادوا والسابئين والنصارى والمجوس والذين أشركوا إن الله يفصل بينهم يوم القيامة إن الله على كل شيء شهيد. Indeed, those people were from the people of the book. Like for example, the Jews, the Christians, the Sabians, the Magians. Sabians, we do not know who the Sabians are really. We don't really know. And the Magians were probably Zoroastrians. And those people who worships other beside Allah, the Ashraku, the mushriks. Indeed, Allah will judge behind them in the day of the judgment. Indeed, Allah is upon everything knowing. Now, this is the Sajda verse, Ayatul Sajda in Surah Al-Hajj. And yeah, I don't think there was a was there a verse of Sajda in Surah Al-Mu'minun? Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I do not remember. You can consult the previous lectures to know. ألم ترى أن لا يسجد له من في السماوات من في الأرض والشمس والقمر والنجوم والجبال والشجر والدواب وكثير من الناس وكثير حق عليه العذاب ومن يهن الله فما له من مكرم إن الله يفعل ما يشاء. Don't you see that Allah prostrates everything in the heaven and the earth and the animals and the insects and the birds and the reptiles and the amphibians and the people, a lot of the people. But then a lot of the people are also rebellious. They are leading a revolt against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. هذان خصمان. Now these two believers and disbelievers. هذان خصمان اختصموا في ربهم فالذين كفروا قطعت لهم ثياب من نار يصب من فوق رؤوسهم الحميم. The two parties, they have the discussion between them. They argue between each other. But those who are the wrong, they will have a bad torment. Bad torment. يسهر به ما في بطونهم والجلود. That will burn. The hell will burn all of their skins. وَلَهُمْ مَقَامِعُ مِنْ حَدِيدٍ. And they will have the hooked rods of iron to punish them. كُلَّمَا أَرَادُوا أَن يُخْرِجُوا مِنْهَا مِنْ غَمٍّ نُعِيدُوا فِيهَا وَذُوقُوا عَذَابَ الْحَرِيقِ. When they seek to get away from it in anguish, they will be driven back in with more force. Now the other side. إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُدْخِلُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ جَنَّاتٍ تَجْرِي مِنْ تَحْتِهَا الْأَنْهَارُ إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَفْعَلُ مَا يُرِيدُ. No. That is the other verse. Now over here it is إن الله يدخل الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات جنات تجري من تحت الأنهار يهلون فيها من أساور من ذهب ولؤلؤا ولباسهم فيها حرير. And those people who are the good people, they will be in the gardens of Eden and they will have the dresses of gold and silver. وهدوا إلى الطيب من القول وهدوا إلى صراط الحميد. And they will be guided towards the right path and the manifest path. إن الذين كفروا ويصدون عن سبيل الله والمسجد الحرام الذي جعلناه للناس سواء الآكف فيه والباد وَمَنْ يُرِدْ بِهِ بِالْهَادٍ بِظُلْمٍ نُزِقْهُ مِنْ عَذَابٍ أَلِيمٍ. And those people who disbelieve and hinder the people from the Masjid al-Haram are the biggest torment on the people, which means is that on that time when they used to go towards the pilgrimage, they were hindered quite a lot of times, especially when they had to go to the pilgrimage, which they were hindered before that, and the Sulh of Hudaybiyah was then created because of that as a result. And that was why, this is what it pertains to, but it was not, it was before the Sulh of Hudaybiyah. Anyway, the next one, وَمَنْ يُرِدْ بِهِ بِالْحَادِ مِنْ ظُلْمٍ نُذِقْهُ مِنْ عَذَابٍ أَلِيمٍ. Whoever stays on these actions, he will have a really bad torment. And now the 26th verse, this is a section from here to 33rd verse about the proclamations of Hajj, very important. وَإِذْ بَوَّأْنَا لِإِبْرَاهِيمَ مَكَانَ الْبَيْتِ أَلَّا تُشْرِكْ بِي شَيْئًا وَطَهِّرْ بَيْتِيَ لِلطَّائِفِينَ وَالْقَائِمِينَ وَالرُّكَّعِ السُّجُودِ. And when we showed Ibrahim alayhi salam over the sacred house, it was said that now it is said that purify my house for those who go around it, do the tawaf, and those who do prayer in, and those who bow, and those who make prostration. Of course, doing prayer over here. The next verse over here, which is the 27th verse, وَأَذِّنْ فِي النَّاسِ بِالْحَجِّ يَأْتُوكَ رِجَالًا وَعَلَى كُلِّ دَامِرٍ يَأْتِينَ مِنْ كُلِّ فَجٍّ عَمِيقٍ. And over here it is that tell the people about the Hajj. Of course, the Hajj, which is a pillar of Islam. And they will come to you from everywhere, and they will come from every different highway. مِنْ كُلِّ فَجٍّ عَمِيقٍ. And that is basically they will come from different lands. Now, when there is Hajj, the biggest country I think that has the number of pilgrims is from where? Indonesia. Now you see a map, where is Indonesia and where is Saudi Arabia, and you can for yourself decide that where, why, what this verse means. And for example, Africa, North Africa or Sub-Saharan Africa, they're quite far, like for example Morocco, Senegal, Gambia, Sierra Leone, and people come from there to do the pilgrimage. Then now this is about the Hajj. لِيَشْهَدُوا مَنَافِعَهُمْ وَيَذْكُرُوا اسْمَ اللَّهِ عَلَى مَا رَزَقَهُمْ وَيَذْكُرُوا اسْمَ اللَّهِ فِي آيَاتٍ مَعْلُومَاتٍ عَلَى مَا رَزَقَهُمْ مِنْ بَهِيمَةِ الْأَنْعَامِ. So that they can witness things that will benefit them, and they can exalt the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the appointed days, which are the 10th, 11th and 12th and the 13th day of Zul Hijjah, and then do the sacrifice of the Eid al-Adha. Then the next word, فَقُلُوا مِنْهَا وَاتِمُوا الْبَائِسَ الْفَقِيرَ. Then eat from it and feed the poor. Then after that, of course, Eid al-Adha, how much days is it away? I think it's about 60-70 days away. Yeah, today is the 7th of Ramadan, so yeah, it's gonna be in little bit of time, or 1-2 months time. Of course, because Ramadan, Shawwal, Dhul Qa'dah, so like about 2.5 months time it's going to be there. So remember, and definitely when the time of Eid al-Adha will roll around, remember to recite this surah. It is very important. Remember to recite this surah. ثُمَّ لْيَقْضُوا تَفْثَهُمْ وَلْيُوفُوا نُذُورَهُمْ وَلْيَطَّوَّفُوا بِالْبَيْتِ الْعَتِيقِ. And then let them do their prescribed duties and then perform their vows and circumambulate the Kaaba 7 times, the tawaf. And there's actually quite a lot about the Hajj. You can read about it. We're gonna keep it short and sweet. ذلك ومن يعظم حرمات الله فهو خير له عند ربي وأحلت لكم الأنعام إلا ما يتلى عليكم فاجتنبوا الرجس من الأوثان واجتنبوا قول الزور. Now over here it is that these duties are an obligation, and whoever performs it is really good. And all the cattle are prescribed upon you for you to eat, except those that are exceptionally said no. So avoid the Satan. حنفاء لله غير مشركين به ومن يشرك بالله فكأنه خر من السماء فتخطفه الطير وطاف به الريح في مكان سحيق. And definitely worship to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and whoever is a mushrik, it is like he has fallen from the sky and birds have snatched him and put him in a far off place. ذلك ومن يعظم شعائر الله فإنها من تقوى القلوب. But those who do these obligations, which is mentioned in the verses 27 to 31, indeed that is a great piety of the heart. لكم فيها منافع والأجر مسمى ثم محلوها إلى بيت العتيق. Now, in the cattle, you sacrifice them, their benefits for you, and then they're brought for sacrifice in the Bayt al-Atiq, of course, the Makkah city. وَلِكُلِّ أُمَّةٍ جَعَلْنَا مَنْسَكًا لِيَذْكُرُوا اسْمَ اللَّهِ عَلَى مَا رَزَقَهُم مِّن بَهِيمَةِ الْأَنْعَامِ فَإِلَٰهُكُمْ إِلَٰهٌ وَاحِدٌ وَلَهُ أَسْلِمُوا وَبَشِّرِ الْمُخْبِتِينَ. Over here it is, in every nation we have appointed religious ceremonies. Now, the meaning of this is very important. For every nation, we have appointed religious ceremonies. Meaning of this is really, really important. Whatever nation you are from, Africa, Europe, Americas, Asia, we have appointed the religious ceremony of Eid al-Adha so that they can remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala over the cattle, the sacrifice that He has given them for food. Very important. So in Islam there is no racism, there is no Kabilaism, no tribalism, there is no racism which is called upon like the skin color. No, nothing. Nothing in Islam. Nothing like this. Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. Your wealth is nothing for Allah. Your tribe is nothing for Allah. Your skin color is nothing for Allah. But your deeds is everything for Allah. Then, and the next one, the 35th verse, again it is about that. Alladhina iza zukirallahu wajilat qulubuhum. And when they talk about Allah, their hearts tremble. Was-sabirina ala ma asabahum. And those who are definitely patiently bear on the calamities. And wal muqim salat, and those who spare, and those who offer the prayer. Wa mimma razaqnahum yunfikun, and those spend in what we have provided them. Then after the 36th verse, Butna jalna lakum min sha'illahi lakum fiha khair fazkuru ismallahi alayha tawaf. And the oxen we have made for you as sacrifices, so sacrifice them, or camels, or the list goes on. So mention the name of Allah when you sacrifice them. فَإِذَا وَجَبَتْ جُنُوبُهَا فَكُلُوا مِنْهَا وَأَطِيمُوا الْقَانِيَ وَالْمُؤْتَرَ كَذَلِكَ سَخَّرْنَاهَا لَكُمْ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ. And when they are down on their side after slaughter, eat from them, give the beggars, and give the beggars who don't ask, because we have made them for you so that you can be grateful. Now this is a really, really important verse. This verse single-handedly tells why Eid al-Azha is there. What is the concept of Eid al-Azha? What do we have to do on Eid al-Azha? What is the meaning of Eid al-Azha? And why was Eid al-Azha even there in the first place? This verse sums it up totally. لَن يَنَالَ اللَّهُ لُحُومُهَا وَلَا دِمَاؤُهَا وَلَكِنْ يَنَالُهُ التَّقْوَى مِنْكُمْ. It is not the meat, it is not the blood that reaches Allah. You can see in the other religions, sometimes, I'm not disrespecting them, I'm just saying that they offer the sacrifices to the idols, but that does not reach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These things do not reach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What reaches is the taqwa. What is your intention? The fast. Why are we keeping the fast? For Allah, right? That's why. The fast does not reach Allah. The hunger does not reach Allah. The intention reaches Allah. If you're keeping a fast for some other thing, the hunger will be wasted. No. Allah does not want that fast. What is the salat doing? The salat in the fajr, when you get up in the cold or in extreme weather condition to pray the salat. If it is for Allah, you have done this. It reaches Allah. So the same thing in the sacrifice. It doesn't matter if you sacrifice a big camel, big oxen, and you do it for the show. Like I'm talking about show fame. But if you sacrifice a small goat for Allah, for the piety of Allah, that will count. كَذَلِكَ سَخَّرْنَاهَا لَكُمْ لِتُكَبِّرُوا اللَّهَ عَلَى مَا هَدَاكُمْ وَبَشِّرِ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. This is why we have made it, so that you can get glad tidings. إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُدَافِعُ عَنِ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُحِبُّ كُلَّ خَوَّانٍ كَفُورٍ. Indeed, Allah defends those who believe. He defends them. He gives them the divine help. أُذِنَ لِلَّذِينَ يُقَاتِلُونَ بِأَنَّهُمْ ظُلِمُوا. And now, this is the verse that is the foreboding to the Battle of Badr. Why didn't the Battle of Badr happen early? Because the permission was not there. Now this is the outright permission. These guys have tormented you too much. Abu Jahl has tormented you too much. Walid ibn Mughira has tormented you too much. Suhail ibn Amr, who was not that time a Muslim, has tormented you too much. Abu Sufyan, who was also not that time a Muslim, has tormented you too much. Now you wage war. This is what is told over here. So this is before. Now this is now where the Battle of Badr comes. Alladhina ukhriju. Now over here it is the same thing continuing. It is in Surah Mumtahina 2. Alladhina ukhriju min diyarihim bighayri haqqin illa yaqula rabbuna Allah. And those who have been expelled from their homes because they only believed in Allah. وَلَوْلَا دَفْعُ اللَّهِ النَّاسَ لَهُدِّمَتْ صَوَامِعُ وَالْبِيَعُ وَالصَّلَوَاتُ وَالْمَسَاجِدُ يَذْكُرُ فِيهَا اسْمَ اللَّهِ كَثِيرًا. And if it did not, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala texts each other by the names of each other. Where the Allah has sent in the name of Allah, it would have been pulled down. Basically, when there were churches and synagogues, at that time when they were on the right path, they would pull down. Like for example, when the good Christians, they were worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they were pursued because at that time when Isa alayhi salam was the messenger. Or for example, the children of Israel, the Bani Israel, the good people, not when they went astray, the good ones in them, they were also pursued by Firaun. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saved the Bani Israel, and He saved Musa alayhi salam and his qawm. So yes, وَلَا يَنْصُرُنَّ اللَّهَ مَنْ يَنْصُرَنْ. Allah will help those who help His cause. Indeed, Allah is the most strong. Now these rulers, the good rulers, the Sadiq and Amin rulers, this is a message to all rulers. الذين إن مكناهم في الأرض لأقاموا الصلاة وآتوا الزكاة وأمروا بالمعروف ونهوا عن المنكر ولله عاقبة الأمور. And if they are elected in the land, they will do the good thing, they will enjoy on the good, and they will forbid from the bad. Those are the best rulers. Then the next verse, when you كذبوك فكذبت قبلهم قوم نوح وعاد وثمود. And if you Makkans disbelieve, the others have also disbelieved, they were even more stronger. وقوم إبراهيم وقوم لوط and Lut and Ibrahim وأصحاب مدين وكذب موسى فأمليت للكافرين ثم أغثتهم فكيف كان نكير. And they disbelieved Musa, but see what happened to them. فكأين من قرية أهلكناها وهي ظالمة فهي خاوية على عروشها وبئر معطلة وقصر مشيد. And so many we have destroyed, and they are still left to this day, deserted in ruins, like Ad in Syria, like Thamud in Syria, like Madian in Aqaba, like Sodom and Gomorrah in the Dead Sea and near the Dead Sea, like Fir'aun in probably Alexandria. I don't really know, it was near the Nile, but I'm just saying maybe it's Alexandria. Actually not Alexandria, somewhere near Cairo, but they were still there. These pyramids of Giza, probably Giza Governorate, but all of these areas, they have all been destroyed. أفلم يسيروا في الأرض فتكون لهم قلوب يأكلون بها وآذان يسمعون بها. Why don't they take their hearts and see in the lands, all of these places that I have described right now, all of these places, why don't they see? إنها لا تعمى الأبصار ولكن تعمى القلوب التي في الصدور. It does not affect the heart. No, it is not the eyes that go blind, it is the heart that goes blind. The heart is in stone. So they are basically functionally dead. وَيَسْتَعْجِلُونَكَ بِالْعَذَابِ وَلَنْ يُخْلِفَ اللَّهُ وَعْدَهُ وَإِنَّ يَوْمًا عِنْدَ رَبِّكَ كَأَلْفِ سَنَةٍ مِّمَّا تَعُدُّونَ. And you hasten on the torment, and it is only a day with your Lord, which is 1,000 years. وَقَأَيٍّ مِّن قَرْيَةٍ أَمْلَيْتُ لَهَا وَهِيَ ظَالِمَةٌ ثُمَّ أَخَذْتُهَا وَإِلَيَّ الْمَصِيرُ. And there are many a township, then again I did give them respite, I gave them a little bit of time, but then after that I seized them. قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا النَّاسُ إِنَّمَا أَنَا لَكُمْ نَذِيرٌ مُبِينٌ. Now it is said to Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam to say, O people, I am sent to you as a warner. فَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ لَهُمْ مَغْفِرَةٌ وَرِزْقٌ كَرِيمٌ. And those people who are the good, they will have a good reward. وَالَّذِينَ سَعُوا بِآيَاتِنَا مُعَجِّزِينَ أُولَٰئِكَ أَصْحَابُ الْجَحِيمِ. And those who strive against our proofs, they will be definitely in the Jahim, in the torment of the hellfire. And that is where we are going to stop. That is the 7th of Ramadan, and tomorrow inshallah we're going to be going ahead from this and hopefully complete Surah Hajj. I hope everybody had a great time, and of course the pro tip of the day is that one thing is to read the Quran, one thing is to pray the Salah, but do you know there are more other ways in which you can worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? If you do a good deed, if you help people, even if you keep your cool, if you don't get angry. For example, in Ramadan it happens because low blood pressure, your car accidents with another car, hits a bump, dents, so you have to resist the urge to speak to the other person in a bad way. And if the other person says to you, you can say inni sa'imun, indeed I am fasting, indeed I am fasting. This is a hadith. So say inni sa'imun, I am fasting. And please, it is very important not to keep your cool, because people who don't have the temper, they are the best people. Don't do temper and no tension. That is the pro tip of the day. I hope everybody is having a great time in this Ramadan. Jazakallahu khairan wa ahsanallahu alaykum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.